How's it going, everybody? Let's switch over here to full screen camera while we get people tuning in to the live stream. This is Flying Cryptos. Hope everyone is having a good time. Let's make sure that everybody can hear me. Give people a chance to tune in because it just turned to 9:30. Usually I do a little bit longer of an intro, but we are going to go over some things today regarding Litecoin, Bitcoin, and Russia and Ukraine. So, if you guys are just tuning in right now, please smash that like button and go back to Twitter if you can. Hit the like on there just so that way more people can hear about it. Just so that way everybody gets an opportunity to tune in live and go over Litecoin. All right, so, yeah, guys, a lot is going on with Russia and Ukraine. We've been hearing this in the headlines a lot lately, though over the past few weeks, and personally, I viewed a lot of it as propaganda. Majority of you have viewed it as propaganda, man, we do not have a lot of viewers right now. We are way below average. Want to make sure that I'm not freezing up, because in the last live stream, we had a lot of buffering problems and a lot of freeze framing. And I just want to make sure everybody can hear it. All right, we got a couple more viewers coming in. Got some more viewers coming in. Hope you guys are all having a good time. I mean, we could certainly be doing better, right? Considering what's happening in cryptocurrency as well as traditional markets. What's up, caveman? Yeah, hodl, so easy a caveman can do it. That's funny. Stephanie Major, what's up? Christopher, hold, as I see last year's profits just slip away. Absolutely. I mean, as far as talking about long-term holds, guys, if you're going to buy here, if you're going to accumulate here, there's nothing wrong with that. Years down the road, you're going to be in a great position. I just want to let everybody know before we get into this stream here that I primarily cover day trading, okay, and swing trades. So you hodlers out there, anything $100 and below on Litecoin is a great long-term hodl position. There is nothing wrong with that. All right, we got some more people tuning in here. Yeah, I wish I had better news for everybody. Today we're going to be covering Russia, Ukraine, Litecoin, Bitcoin, what's going on with technical analysis, because as you guys all know, I am an analyst and I primarily only ever cover analysis. I cover charts. I do not talk about news that often. But as far as the Russia-Ukraine situation goes, I think it's important to talk about a little bit in this and how I'll be trading it, how it can impact the markets, how low can Litecoin and Bitcoin go, you know, all of that stuff. So let's get started here, guys. We got everyone tuning in. I'm going to bring you over to the screen. Here we go. Here's the screen, and it is no surprise to anybody that the Ukraine-Russia situation has severely, is beginning to impact traditional markets as well as crypto. I mean, we see it right here. Dow futures dropped more than 400 points as tensions between Russia and Ukraine brew. Now, I posted an article about this the other day. Now, I did not share this onto Twitter. I shared it on my personal social media. But the article that I shared yesterday on my Twitter, which was titled, U.S. has intel that Russian commanders have orders to proceed with a Ukraine invasion. This was my take on it. Majority, including myself, have seen the headlines as propaganda. Until today, my opinion changes. If the USA is insisting that intel shows they have orders now, and they never attack, I'll consider the US as doing a shit job with bad intel, because US intelligence will make us look like clowns at this point. So my theory is take this seriously and consider how it may impact markets, logistics, and fuel prices. Now, I am not an expert on foreign policy. I am a trader. I know how to read charts best, so I don't want to get into too much about the news, but we got to bring it to attention because this is very important. and it is impacting markets. And if, depending on what you're looking at for your news source, everyone says something a little bit different. You know, we got Fox here, we got CBS News, and I did want to bring to attention the chart guys. You know, guys, I love the chart guys. Dan is an amazing trader. I recommend you guys follow him, as well as Big Cheds. And he posted, the longer this drags out with consistent headlines and reactions, the more likely I will be to, quote, buy the news after the initial hard and fast dump an actual invasion and fighting would bring. And there's a few things that, you know, is important to talk about. I mean, just things that I just want to quickly highlight. And, you know, the U.S. is certainly really igniting the fire on this topic. Certainly, definitely keep that in mind. But right now, tensions, as it seems, are greatly increasing, and we know that based on what Russia is actually doing. U.S. has intel that Russian commanders have orders to proceed with Ukraine invasion. Russia expert says blitzkrieg type attack could begin as early as Monday night. Live updates. Now that today is Monday night, so let me pause this here real quick. Yeah, so as early as 8 p.m. tonight. Well, it's 9:36 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but anyway, that is the point. We have Russia having recognized the independence, and I cannot pronounce this properly. I'm going to say Donetsk and Luhansk People's Republic has signed treaties today. Russia will almost certainly deploy armed forces imminently to occupy these breakaway territories. Putin has already authorized the deployment of peacekeeping troops into eastern Ukraine. Russian offensive operation against Ukraine will likely begin at 8 p.m. Eastern Time and may not be limited to occupying eastern Ukraine. Moscow is waging a propaganda campaign that lays out the pretext for an incursion into Ukraine proper. Russia may launch a large-scale air and missile bombardment of key military and government command and control facilities in major Ukrainian cities, preceding a ground incursion. I cannot rule out the possibility of Putin authorizing a decapitation strategy targeting Kyiv to force Zelensky to flee so Moscow can install a pro-Russian leader. At minimum, a crippling cyber warfare campaign will target Kyiv, including its power grid. This will be a swift blitzkrieg type operation. Whether Putin decides to target only eastern Ukraine or Ukraine proper, Moscow will declare victory on February 23rd, the Soviet Army Day. Now, I mean, all this stuff, you know, needs to be taken seriously right now. Russia is currently moving troops into these zones, so I hear peacekeeping troops. You know how that goes, but I'm just saying, guys, this needs to be taken seriously. The markets are reacting to it and coming to the charts here. We're going to start off with the weekly, and I hope you guys are enjoying this. Again, I say I'm not a foreign policy expert. I am a chart guy. All right, I am an analyst. So any questions, drop them in there. A Big Ched's called out $38 to $40 LTC range for him a few hours back. All right, well, we're going to talk about support and resistance levels. I'm going to talk about my personal targets. You know, to be honest with you, I actually have not seen that Ched's tweet, so I'm happy to take a look at it after the live stream and, you know, make comments on that. That question was from Steve-O, by the way. All right, so taking a look at the BTC USD chart, we're going to start off with Bitcoin here on the weekly, all right? We are in a weekly downtrend, and we've maintained this weekly downtrend. You know, our previous high was set on November 15th, 21, and ever since we've been in this downtrend. You see here we got, that's your classic weekly downtrend pattern. Now, what are we going to target, guys? Because as you all know, I was looking for a daily higher low to set, confirm reversal of the downtrend, and I was making a long attempt on that daily higher low. Now, why was I making a long attempt on the daily higher low? Because looking at Litecoin here, if we got that daily higher low and it turned to a weekly higher low and a higher high, it would have looked like that. So entering here was perfect risk to reward. Of course, right? Now, I end up trying to make an entry here. I get stopped out. No big deal. Only lose a couple percent. I was waiting all the way down for that 0.618 level. As you guys remember looking back at my Twitter, that was the last chance for the bulls to hold it, and they did not. And you guys remember that I was very bullish there for a minute because the bulls were showing up. We got the biggest move we've had yet, right? Now we had 100% retracement, proving that the bears are in full control. And zooming out here, looking at the weekly chart, you can clearly tell that we are in a weekly downtrend and currently breaking through the support at 108 on the weekly. But we'll go to Bitcoin first. So I want to go to Bitcoin first because if we zoom out on Bitcoin and we look at this trend line here, hope you guys can hear me all right and everything is good. If you look at this weekly trend line here, this uptrend line that's been established since the beginning, we got touch here, touch, pretty much almost touches. We got some wicks coming up here, come down, almost touch here. The lows after the 2017 rally in the bear market. We have the lows around 3,000. We come through. We have a little bit of bear trap here. We'll zoom in a little bit. We got to bounce off this trend line here. We come down, we test it, we ride up it, and then boom, we rally. Rally begins early 2020, well, October of 2020. Now, I think we are honestly going to retest that trend line, especially, and I want to highlight the chart guys here. The longer this drags out with consistent headlines and reactions, the more likely I will be to buy the news after the initial hard and fast dump of an actual invasion and fighting would bring. Guys, we could see an additional 20% drop here into this support area. This is looking at the weekly chart. You see we got lots of wicks coming down into this support area that all turned into wicks. It ended up leading into a nice bounce here. Got a nice bounce here from the bottom of that wick to the top of 124%. So we got this support, very strong support, right? We also have this uptrend line that has been held since basically the beginning. Coming down and testing this line would be putting us around the $30,000 level. We can certainly with the fear of an invasion, should that invasion be full scale and occur, fall below this trend line. Absolutely. We could see mid to low $20,000 Bitcoin in an event like that, and you better believe it, I will be buying it. These reactionary dumps from events like that are usually short-lived, and they usually make great buying opportunities. So if you're playing Bitcoin, I would certainly be sitting out waiting patient right now, because just as the chart reads, we're in a clear weekly downtrend, and it's very likely we're going to come down and test this $30,000 level. So having your bids in this area would be great, with some bids even below the trend line, guys. Going into Litecoin. Now, you guys know that I've been talking about $80 Litecoin for a while. I have bids at $80 and $75. This area, this is target number 1. This is our support level right here for Litecoin. If we were to lose this level, I have stink bids down at $60 and $65. You see we have some support right here. That is my target 2 zone. I'm going to have some bids down at 60, 65. Now, let's zoom into the daily. So as you guys can see here on the daily chart, we lost support, we fell through it, we see a slight increase in volume, selling volume, pushing us through that support, and now most logical target is going to be that $80 to $75 range. I think it's overextended. We'll be targeting the target 2 range here. I'm just going to check the comments real quick. Hope you guys, we got more viewers tuning in. 72 Tony, look at LTC weekly multi-year trend line. I will zoom out to the weekly. I'm going to go over LTC BTC a little bit too. So we got this trend line right here. CC, I have been in crypto since 2021 and am scared. I have a long-term strategy, but find myself angry currently. Any advice? I understand that. I'm assuming you're holding. Yeah, I mean, everybody's angry right now. I mean, even traders and traders love volatility. I love volatility. I love moments like this because it creates great buying opportunities. But as a holder, I understand how it can be very stressful. And if you're going to hold, you're gonna have to hold it. I would zoom out, understand the situation we're going through right now. I know a lot of people are scared. I know I've had a couple people post on the Twitter saying that we lose this level, it's going to be the end of Litecoin. It's never going to recover. I am totally against that thought process. I mean, you go back to 2017. You know, by the time we were hitting that capitulation stage towards $3,000, everybody thought it was over. Everyone thought the Bitcoin bubble had burst and that it was a one and done type thing. The fear was at all-time high, and you know, you go back and you know, $3,000. I mean, I remember being in the market here at 6,000, watching that dump there. We lost, you know, we went from 6,000 to $3,000 in a matter of a couple weeks. It was just straight down. It was brutal, and there's no reason we can't have something similar to that right here, coming from 36,000 all the way down to, worst case scenario, you could even say $20,000, the previous high, the previous bull market. And hopefully with a wick right back up, because with the Russia-Ukraine situation, I do think that this dump will be short-lived should the invasion go full scale and all of this happens. Yeah, you're holding, you haven't sold, and you're not going to. I would honestly have some money on the sidelines. If you can make some entries on this dump, you'll bring your dollar cost average down, and you'll feel a lot better about your position. All right, but going back into the weekly, I don't want to get sidetracked. The odds of us coming down and testing this trend line are really high, guys. So we're going to zoom in to the daily. I just want to show you Bitcoin on the daily. We have a triple top rejection at 44,617 or 44,6 here, guys, which pretty much solidified the top of this move, and now we are going to continue downtrending again. So like I said, my bids on Litecoin are in the $80 range down to $75. Going over to Litecoin here, I would like to see, you know, us come down, back test this 100, come down, and then hopefully V bottom and get right back above and look something like this, or come down, maybe we double bottom and then we break up and then we get right back up there. That would be the best case scenario, but it's going to depend on a lot going on with Russia, Ukraine, and everything else. Because I will say this, if we come down here and we fail to bounce off this $80 level, we come down to $60, guys, we're going to have to consider a pretty long-term bear market. I mean, we can zoom out here, look at the monthly. I want to take you guys to the chart that I highlighted in the past here on the monthly for Litecoin, that I highlighted this monthly bull flag pattern a while ago as I was watching as a last chance for the bulls to get a breakout here and see new all-time highs with Litecoin. Now, we got 6 days, 22 hours. And unfortunately, we got some pretty nasty headlines. And if Russia were to make the move on a full-scale invasion of Ukraine, I'm telling you that it looks pretty bad for a monthly close on Litecoin, which would invalidate the monthly bear flag pattern we have here, bringing us down to the next monthly support, which would be $68. It would take quite a long time for us to see new all-time highs with Litecoin. That is true. However, I do think it would be a long-term swing or a perfect opportunity as a hodler to make an entry anywhere near that level, because we could come down on the monthly, we could form a tightening range, or we could break up, set a monthly high or low, and still continue off to new all-time highs. That would be basically a monthly inverted head and shoulders. Just giving you some different examples. Just because we come down to these levels does not mean that Litecoin is dead forever. I don't want to hear people talk like that. There's nothing to say that it's dead forever. We would really need to, yeah, still wouldn't even be forever. But say we lose $67 on the monthly, we come down here. Yeah, guys. Sure, we could come down as low as $30, $40, absolutely. But that is not realistic to me. I would see, the $70 range here on the monthly hold. We do got a lot of support here at this level. And it's really hard to predict months ahead in crypto. We have events like Russia. We have so much happening in the world that in a matter of months, so much can change. This is why I don't like making predictions off the monthly chart unless we have a clear pattern to go off of. Coming down to $67 is going to make the monthly chart look pretty ugly, and honestly a little hard to predict. We'll probably be looking for a monthly tightening range of some sort and forming a pattern before we get some sort of break. That's all I'm saying, is we're going to need a pattern to develop once we come down here and hit these levels. But as far as a swing trade entry, it's an amazing opportunity, because even looking at the weekly chart here on Litecoin, if we come down to $80 level. Let me get to this chart over here. We come down to the $80 level or the $65 level. We're going to be approaching oversold weekly conditions, especially as we hit $60. Weekly oversold conditions. Not to mention daily RSI is already 34. We come down and hit $80 range. The RSI on the daily is then going to be oversold. Now, we did have almost oversold conditions back here in late January, and we simply moved sideways. We did not approach oversold conditions. We just moved sideways. The market's been very bearish. However, historically, daily oversold conditions touched here, right here, late July. Got a nice little bounce. Zoom back. Didn't quite touch oversold conditions here. We had this rally. As we start to hit oversold conditions, this was the COVID crash in March of 20. Nice bounce. We had a nice bounce after a nice dump. That bounce was like 50, 60, 70%. What I'm saying is, as we reach oversold conditions on the daily, swing traders all around are going to be entering positions, guys. So as we approach these levels provide good risk to reward for making some really good money. So that's what I wanted to highlight. And I hope you guys are having a good one. If you guys are liking the live stream, we do have a decent amount of viewers. Please smash the like button and subscribe. And if you guys are feeling extra generous, go back on Twitter later and hit the retweet or the like button on the YouTube link, just so that way more people can find this video and the replay later. And really quick, I did want to mention while we're into this, and then a nice tie. I know I talk about it all the time, but I love wearing it. The Litecoin tie, I got to really represent. They're on sale right now at cryptoties.com. If you type Captains20 and checkout, you'll get 20% off. And they're the nicest ties ever made for Litecoin, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. They are made in Italy, in the same city as Giorgio Armani. They are designer quality ties, full silk, embroidered, nicest ties ever. And I actually genuinely mean that. If you go to it and you look at the photo gallery, you'll see that the quality of the ties are insane. So definitely check it out if you're interested. International shipping is on them. Now, I did have to plug that in there. So let me get into some questions right now. All right, CC, thank you for the advice. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much, man. Now, I know I got some people here. Wally Chan's, the market is done and alts won't have any more FOMO. Scalpers dream, but normal people aren't going to invest in this, pal. Yeah, you're right. This is called capitulation. And this is what people like me as professional traders want to see. This is a perfect opportunity to buy when no one else is buying. That's the whole point. You know, smart money will buy it. Retail will not buy it. Retail traders, retail investors very rarely catch the bottom of a move. And it's because of the explanation you've given that normal people aren't going to invest in this. That's just the way it is, man. And I'm here right here to go over the markets and give advice and my honest opinion on the market. And you can, obviously, I want people to formulate their own opinions, but my honest opinion, I would not be putting this much money into the market. I mean, I have bids, you know, set at $75 to $80. I will be putting big money into this. I have a trading plan. I know what my stop losses are. Smart money is going to be buying here on these dips because, you know, go back a few months ago, go back before this rally even happened, from $40 up to $395, near $400, okay? You know, if you had the opportunity to buy it now, back even when it was 160, back when it was 300, you would be dying for these prices right now. The market always moves up and down and up and down and up and down. Smart money knows this. As this price comes down to key support levels, look at the daily, look at the previous high here. We got good support here in this $80 range. We have support here in the $60, $65 range. This is where smart money is going to move in while everyone else is capitulating, selling. So I'm just telling you how it is, how I'm seeing it. This is what I'm going to be doing. This is where I'm going to be buying. But anyway, guys, we are approaching the half-hour point. So I will answer any other questions you guys may have before we wrap this up. It is very important. You know, like I said, typically, I'm always covering charts. I'm always covering, you know, what the charts are saying, how a market reads, because honestly, you can read a market just looking at the chart. But with Russia-Ukraine going on, I do think those are some pretty prominent headlines. They are impacting the traditional markets and markets all around. So I did wanted to bring that subject into this live stream to go over a little bit with you guys. You know, it's going to have an impact on the markets. And we could see some overextended selling pretty quickly. So it's important to highlight all of that. And I hope you guys all have a good one. And if you like the live stream, guys, please smash the like button and subscribe. I love you all. And again, as far as the Litecoin and cryptocurrency ties, check them out. cryptoties.com. This is Flying Cryptos. Hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. Thank you all for tuning in. And cheers. See you later, everybody.